3.6, wherein we'll explore the topic marketing and branding, building connections in the business world. We are honored to have a panel of accomplished entrepreneurs, C-suite management professionals, CEOs, founders, investors, and multiple PhD research scholars in this conference today. By the end of this session, we hope you will gain valuable insights into this crucial area.
Hello everyone, I'm Priyanshi Arora, Shravan's co-host for Conference 3.6. It is my pleasure to co-host this conference with Shravan sir.
So before we delve into our topic today, let me briefly introduce SK Associates and Group. We are an ISO certified management consulting firm registered under the MSMED Act 2006 for the Government of India. Our mission is to provide consulting services to student entrepreneurs globally, covering areas such as compliance, operations, marketing, research and development, human capital, strategy, and operations. Our passion lies in helping these budding entrepreneurs bring their dreams to life and contribute to global economic growth.
At SK Associates and Group, we take pride in offering tailor-made solutions to our clients. Our team of transformational consultants has a deep-rooted passion for entrepreneurship and they bring extensive experience and expertise to every project. Over the past 3 years, we have built a network of 5,000 individuals from 30 plus countries, representing diverse universities, industries, and functional roles.
Our ultimate goal is to assist 600 million youths in India by providing pro bono consulting services in areas such as business strategy, operations, human capital, legal advisory and compliance, research and development, taxation, and marketing. We also plan to invest 500 crores USD in these startups by 2035, creating more than 5,000 plus employment opportunities for startup experts, advisors, mentors, and research scholars. Our vision is to contribute to global economic growth by empowering the next generation of iconic organizations.
Collaboration and strategic alliances are key to achieving our mission. We are committed to promoting entrepreneurship, development, and community impact with a focus on empowering students for global economic growth. We aim to partner with over 1,000 plus universities and colleges by 2030, providing guidance and mentorship to students as they embark on their startup journeys.
The enthusiasm and interest we see among students for entrepreneurship nowadays is truly inspiring. Startups have the potential to address critical social, economic, and geopolitical challenges through innovative business models. By promoting sustainable entrepreneurship, we can drive positive change and create a brighter future for all. Entrepreneurs not only generate job opportunities, but also stimulate economic growth, offer innovative solutions to consumer needs, and foster collaboration with other businesses. We have witnessed remarkable success stories wherein entrepreneurs have tackled issues like climate change, waste management, education, and many more.
Absolutely. Entrepreneurship is a catalyst for change and innovation. It's a powerful force that can reshape industries, transform lives, and make the world a better place. We are committed to supporting student entrepreneurs on the journey, equipping them with the tools, knowledge, and networks they need to succeed.
At SK Associates and Group, we are immensely grateful for the dedicated support of our executive management team, including Ms. Vaishali Shri, Ms. Aditi Jain, Ms. Anjali Kumari, Mr. Faiz Siddiqui, Ms. Rima Kumari, and Ms. Pal Kumari. The unwavering commitment has played a pivotal role in our growth and development. Thanks to their dedication, we can make a meaningful impact on the entrepreneurial ecosystem by inspiring, educating, and mentoring young individuals, encouraging them to pursue entrepreneurship instead of a corporate career. Now, before we dive into our discussions, let's take a moment to introduce our esteemed lineup of guest speakers for today and tap into the wealth of wisdom they bring to the table.
Our first speaker of the day is Miss Imanthi Pete, the marketing manager at Cinnamon Hotels and Resorts. With a demonstrated history of working in the marketing and advertising industry, she is a strong sales professional with an MBA from the University of West London. She has a wide array of skills ranging from Microsoft Word, communication, public speaking, leadership, etc.
Our second speaker of the day is none other than Ms. Ankita Joshi, a product manager at HP. She's an experienced professional in brand and product management and holds 5 years of experience in product lifecycle management, including driving 4Ps, market shares, 360-degree marketing campaigns, etc. And another 3 years of experience in consulting projects for instrumentation design in oil and gas sector.
Next up, we have Mr. Dev Savadia, who is a co-founder at YouThrive. He is a visionary entrepreneur and leader. His 3+ years of experience with leading F&B, fashion, health and wellness, education, beauty, matrimonial and advertising brands, along with coaches, backs him to understand systems better. Additionally, he's also helping founders and coaches thrive on LinkedIn. He has helped 30+ founders, CEOs, coaches, trainers, and entrepreneurs build a personal brand on LinkedIn in less than 64 days and amplify their sales.
Our final speaker for today is none other than Ms. Prisha Tama, the Chief Marketing Officer at Bajra Sports Centre. She owns a BBA degree from London Metropolitan University and with an active involvement as a digital creator, along with social media posts and content creation, she boasts of an expertise in consumer engagement. From creating just contents to overlooking entire social media accounts of a brand and increasing reach accordingly, she has added a valuable skill set of creating digital products. Excuse me. She has overtaken branding of 6+ international partnered colleges in Nepal as a senior project coordinator. Welcome everyone, and it's an honor to have you all with us. Your expertise today adds a special dimension to our conference, making it a unique and insightful gathering. Now, before we begin this conference, we would like to request all of you to switch on our respective webcams. We would also like to inform you that our HR team will be conducting polls in the chat box throughout the conference, and we encourage your active participation in them. Now, moving ahead, I would like to invite our first speaker, Ms. Ankita Joshi, and I request her to commence her speech. Thank you.
Yeah. Hi everyone. So I'll just present my screen. Let me know once it's visible. I hope my screen is visible.
Yeah, it is Ankita.
Okay, and my voice is also clear, right? I can begin.
Yes, excellent.
Cool, great. Yeah, good evening, everyone. Firstly, a very happy Independence Day. It's great that you guys have joined and you have such a passion towards marketing, like all of us, the speakers here right now. And it's a pleasure to be here. So basically, my slides would be very simple and they would capture three basic things when you want to build and you want to have more connections in the business world. For me, it always means that when you're trying to build connection, it means that your consumers are whom you want to build a connection with as a brand. Because the more stronger a connection you have with your consumers, the better brand you would be. So I will begin my presentation. And in order to have these strong consumer connections, you need to delve into three C's. One is the create, communicate, and continue. So this is how you will have a very strong customer connection, and you will be able to even just not make it at the beginning or the entry level. You will be able to communicate with them and even continue. Once you have sold the product, it does not mean that you move ahead. So like I have worked in mobile industry as well as now I'm working with laptops. It does not mean that once the sale is made, you stop making your connection with the consumers. It should be that you have an everlasting and a very strong network as well as the connect with the customers, even once the sale has been made. I move on to the create part of it. Create is when you are trying to understand the customer and when you're trying to understand the market. So when I say the customer, you can't see a consumer standalone. You need to also analyze your competitions. So you have both in create. When you're creating those connections, you need to understand your market, which involves both the customer as well as the competition. So that is how you'll be able to create your connections once you understand the market. So in order to understand the market, first is you understand the customer needs. What are the customer needs? Primarily, whenever if you think and pause and try to reflect that how you make your purchase, whenever you buy a product, there are either of these needs which get fulfilled as a customer. So either it's a functional need, like an example you see that if you want to communicate from A point to a B point, you need a mobile, and that can be fulfilled very easily with a very basic kind of a mobile. So that is your functional need. But the other part of the need is your own emotional need, wherein you want to have a very feel good factor, wherein brands come into picture, and there are certain brands with whom you associate more. So that is your own personal internal need or your own emotional need, wherein you want to connect with that brand. So maybe the preference is towards Apple, say. And when it's a social need, it has now these two needs, functional and emotional, are more towards an inward need, whereas the social need is what your entire society thinks about you, how you want to be perceived. That is your social need. So that's where your decision, when as a customer is associated, you may think of it as a social need, and you make a purchase because what will people think of me is how you're actually buying that product. So that's how customer needs, when you as students or entrepreneurs are trying to understand how your product fits in, you need to first understand the basics and then make your connections, that how the customer actually perceives my product and how I am able to fulfill which particular customer need am I able to fulfill. So that is your beginning point. Then you understand the market. So one of the basic things which I as a marketeer understood was that you cannot restrict yourself and think that your direct competition is the only competition. Like you can see on the screen, Coke can't think that Pepsi is my only competition. They have to broaden their horizon. That's where the indirect competition and replacement competition also comes into play. You need to understand again that what the competition product is trying to satisfy is the need of the customer. Eventually the customer may be thirsty, and a water bottle can also fulfill the need at that particular point. So a product like a water bottle can also be a direct competition of Coca-Cola. And sometimes students as well as entrepreneurs restrict themselves and thinking that their competitions are just restricted to their direct competition, rather than thinking that there is another layer of competitions as well, which is indirect as well as the replacement competition. So this is how you create those, you start building and creating your connections once you understand the market. So that was the first C which I wanted to highlight. The second is communicate. Now you've understood the market, you've understood that how your product is actually building on and how it's supporting that need of the customer and how you are able to tackle with your various competitions. Now it comes to how you will communicate what your brand is able to fulfill and provide to the consumers. That is where the other brand identity comes into picture. Now you have discussed, you have understood the customer and the competition. Now internally you will evaluate that how you want to position your brand in the minds of the customer, and what is the external messaging you want the customers to take forward when they think about your brand. So there are certain frameworks when it comes to brand positioning. So that brand positioning is nothing but how you want the customers to perceive, or that unique position they should have in their mind when they're thinking about you as a brand. For example, Volvo, the cars which they make are associated with safety because that's how they have perceived the brand in the minds of the customers. The same way, when it comes to Apple, it is that they think different. So that ways, there are a lot of brand positioning which we as customers don't realize, but brands at the back end put a lot of effort so that that's how the customers perceive them. So these are the three frameworks which brands at the back end or you entrepreneurs can take forward and think that how you want to position your brand. So the first one, which is on the left side, and it actually is one of my favorite examples, that you should not, when you're thinking about brand positioning, you should not think about yourselves or as a brand individually. You need to understand that there is a customer want which you would be satisfying. There's a competition. So if you're trying to position somewhere where the competition is actually doing best, you are actually in a dumb zone. Whereas if you are at a place where the customer want is there and you are doing your best, that's a winning zone for you. So this is the place where you as a brand manager have to understand that your product should come in and how you want it to be positioned. That's your winning zone. Now there are various strategies how you can position your brand, whether you want the price to be, some brands want themselves to be pitched as a luxury product, so price can be one of the factor. Other is a characteristic, like Volvo, I was giving an example, safety, fun can be Ferrari, speed can be Ferrari. So that ways you can start thinking that there are various characteristics different brands can be associated with. Other is the use, that what is the specific use my product can be used for, that's how I want to position them. And the next one is the quality, again the luxury product. So once you have these things cleared, you can have your own internal brand positioning statement. So this is an example of Apple, wherein you can see there are various elements when the brand positioning statement is made. Your target audience whom you are trying to pivot, which is the category which you want to highlight, what is your point of differentiation, what are the end benefits, and what are the reasons to believe. So you can see that in a positioning statement everything comes as a gist of your brand altogether. So this is a very good way that how you're going to, the second C which we are discussing, which is communicate. Once you know that what is that positioning you want as a brand to, for the customers to have, once you have this clarity, you will be able to have strong brand messaging. So once the positioning is done, you will be able to have great brand messaging. In order to have the brand messaging, your previous positioning statement is a must. So once you understand that this is how, this is my purpose, why I exist, how I am going to talk to my customers, what is my brand promise, and what are my attributes as a personality, your messaging pillars will come up. And that's how you see brands communicate with their customers. So this is a very, very important exercise. And once sometimes when you guys can discuss with me your questions, etc., this is a very good activity, and it's like a group exercise which can be done within the brands to understand that where you guys stand. Moving forward for the last C, which is the continue. Once you are able to create, which is you are able to understand the market, then you are able to communicate, which is the messaging you want with the customers, you need to continue. So once you have built the effort that what positioning you want as a brand, you need to continue those relations which you have built over time with your customers. Now in order to build that, these are the various pillars which can be followed. First is the continuous customer engagement. Second is building trust. We will see in the slides to follow how we are going to do that, and relationship marketing and strategic partnership. So the first one is customer engagement. All of us are living in a social world. We are connecting this virtually. So brands have a very, very good platform in this present era to communicate and engage with the customers. And right now, it's not a boring way that you communicate with your brands. You talk to them in the language they talk. Like Zomato is a prime example. You guys would have seen the content of Zomato, whether it's their emailers, their LinkedIn post, etc. It's the way they engage with their customers. The customers can be in their create phase or in their communicate phase, but this is how you continue to engage with your customer. You can't just let them go. So these are the various examples on the left which you see are various ways, are the various elements which exist in content marketing. And these are the, these are ever evolving. Like podcasts were not there a few years back, but now they are like the talk of the town. And email newsletters have now become very quirky, and blogs are something which people enjoy doing. So that way, it's a way, it is a method which I'm touching, that you can continue to communicate with your customers. Then social media. So social media has its own advantages. It is a real time interaction which you can have with your customers. You can build a strong community. So as a brand, if you are able to build a community of your consumers, nothing like that, and you have a place wherein you can continuously go and engage with them, and it's also cost effective and personalization can be done. So that's how you continue to communicate with your customers in whatever phase or in whatever funnel they are of your brand. Then building trust. So building trust is very important right now. If you see, a lot of brands are very vocal and they're very transparent. So one of the examples which I wanted to show is about Patagonia. Patagonia is a brand which really talks about the sustainability aspect of things. It's a fashion brand, and they're very transparent. They say that as you can see, they say buy less, demand more, wherein they are actually saying in this video, I'll share the link also because generally the videos hang. So that, as a fashion brand, we are saying that we need to save our environment. That's where they're very transparent that you should actually buy less, even though they are the fashion brand and they're selling, but they're making their corporate practice very vocal that we are saying that it will harm the environment. That's where you should actually purchase less, continue using, recycle, reuse your products which you actually have. So that's where the transparency element comes in, and there are three ways in which you can show that you are actually transparent as a brand, whether it's a corporate practice like companies have now started telling out that what are their corporate practices, what are the raw materials they are using. They are moving towards the sustainability angle. So that's where the customer also, when they listen directly from the brand and they see that now the brands are very vocal, they're telling directly what is happening inside, a customer gets associated and they are able to build those strong connection. A brand is able to build a connection with the customer directly. Then the product proof, which is again that if I'm wearing a product today, if I'm wearing a Titan watch, how am I associated? What are the product? How is it being taken? What is the association with the celebrity? So that way is the product proof is now given. So that's how the brands are trying to be more transparent. They're communicating very well that does that. Now if you see the Gen Z, they're very particular that whatever brand they're using, it aligns with their values. So that's how once you as a brand communicate, customers also build the trust in you and they continue the association with you. You don't want as a brand that one time purchase happens. Rather you want that the same customer again and again buys from you and have a loyalty built in you. The second element of building the trust is the customer reviews and testimonials. So this was a very interesting stat which was able to capture, that 72% of the customers, they actually trust a business more after reading the positive reviews and testimonials, and 49% of the customer, they trust the online reviews as much as they trust their personal recommendations. So that's the strength of the online reviews and testimonials in the current era of social media which we are living in. So that's how, if the brand works on these aspects, they will be able to have a very strong connection with the brand, with the customers. So I'll just share the link of the video so that you guys can see it, because generally it will lag. The other part is the relationship marketing. So this is also very important. As I was saying, that it should not happen that once the purchase is done, the customer just goes out of the store and he never returns back. We don't want that kind of experience. So there are various types of loyalty programs which you guys would have seen with different brand associations which you have. These are the 4 types commonly used by the brands in order to have these loyalty programs. One is the simple point program. The more you buy, the more points you are able to garner, and then you can on your next purchase utilize it. Then there is a tier program wherein if you have certain amount of purchase you make, then you are eligible for a certain loyalty program. Other is a paid card which you are given, so you pay a certain premium and then you are able to get various loyalty benefits. Then is a value program that, if you're buying from us, we are actually contributing to the society. So that is another kind of loyalty which the brands are trying to build in. Moving on, for the relationship marketing is wherein, so this is a typo wherein people provide personalization. So Netflix, if you see, you build in various profiles basis your own whatever content you're buying. So there are various elements which Netflix looks at when you're viewing the content on Netflix. So it sees what is the profile information, what time of the day are you watching, what is the device type. Basis on that, they give you a personalized recommendation. So read it as personalization. So that is how there is second part of loyalty programs, which is personalization, wherein you get personalized personalized recommendations as a customer. So that's how the brand continues to connect with you even after you've actually bought the subscription. So that's an example because you guys relate to Netflix. Moving on, the last bit of it is the strategic partnership, wherein you continue to communicate with the customer with the right collaborations. So, if I am, as I've put the example of Whole Truth, so if I am a customer of Whole Truth and I see a collaboration with Ultra Human, which is an app which captures your health, movements and gives you various recommendations. So, that's how various brands are actually collaborating with other brands which are like of the complementary category. Once the right collaboration is done, it is another way how you are still there in the mind of the customer, even if they are not buying you today. So if I see a ad of Whole Truth with Ultra Human, I'll be very excited because I am a customer of Whole Truth and I'm seeing that they have a unique kind of a collaboration. So as a customer, tend to continue that communication. You can't always make a sales pitch to a customer. Rather, you need to have more of a branding and a marketing angle as well to things. So and it's very important that you have a right collaboration. It can't happen that two brands who are not synced up all of a sudden go ahead and do a strategic partnership. Then it's not a strategy at all. You need to have these four elements which I have pointed out here, that you need to have a common goal. Like here, Whole Truth and Ultra Human, they were moving towards a great health as a common goal which they wanted to drive. You need to have coinciding consumer base. It should not happen that one brand has a completely, it talks to Gen Z, whereas the other brand is talking to baby boomers. It can't happen. So that ways, you need to build on those strategies, align to them, and then communicate back to the customer. So yeah, that was the last slide from my side.
So, firstly, that was a great speech, Ankita.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Priyansh, if you would like to take over.
Thank you, Ms. Ankita Joshi, for the wonderful speech. And
Thank
now I
you.
would request you to please share your email address in the chat box as well. And also, if any of our audience has any questions or seeks further information, so please don't hesitate to reach out to her. Thank you, ma'am.
Sure, guys. Thank you.
Now,
Ankita, I believe we have two questions for you. If you can just view the chat
Yeah.
box.
Yeah, sure. I'll read the chat box and reply there right away.
I suggest, Ankita, that you explain it orally so that the audience can also have a grasp of it.
Yeah, sure. So Adil is saying, how has your experience as a product manager at HP influenced your understanding of entrepreneurship, particularly in terms of identifying and addressing market gaps? Okay, in terms of identifying and addressing market gaps. Okay, so very interesting question. Basically, in HP, if you ask me as a product manager, so I am basically taking off the category that is the business side of things. We address a lot of market gaps. So primarily because I'm taking care of Chromebooks as well, which is a laptop which is like sub 20K kind of a product. So we are trying to address the market wherein the affordability bit of the consumers is quite less. They want to buy a laptop, they want to progress, but their affordability is a little towards the lesser end. So we are following two things. One, we are trying to build the products which are good enough, but they are like basic products. So how I can give you the basic specification. So what market gap am I addressing? I am addressing affordability. of the Indian customer who are living in tier 3 or tier 4 markets. Now they also feel the need of a laptop, but their affordability is quite less. So that was the question for me. How we try to, in HP, what we are fortunate with is that we can adjust the specifications. So if like you see that there is an i3 processor, there is 5128 GB, etc. So that ways I can make a basic product at my level which touches a particular price point. So you need to understand the 4 P's as a product manager. So I'm trying to get to a specific product which satisfies my customer need and also touches the price point. So that is how I'm trying to create that product which is able to match the price need of the customer. Second, what I'm trying to do is I am trying to solve the affordability with the help of various banks, so that I'm providing them EMI options. I'm trying to provide them with NBFC option, which are your Bajaj FinServes, which are the collaborations with HDFC kind of a bank, so that the EMI options can be increased. Rather than a 6-month option, I would try to get a 12 months option for them. So that's how, one of the things which comes to my mind, how I'm addressing the market gap right now. And talking about entrepreneurship, I think in any of the product manager, which other speakers would also echo, in a product manager or a branding role, you are an entrepreneur every day, because you have a certain customer problem which is very unique, very different every day. Sometimes either there is some service kind of a chaos that the customer is not happy with the product, the ratings are not going as per what you want, and then you try to understand that what is the customer pain point, how you are going to solve them. So that's where I try. Even my presentation was around consumers, so my everyday is around consumers, that how I can improve their experience. And the second question was, in your role, how do you foster a mindset within your team to encourage innovation? So in our team, primarily like I think in first question only that answer came in. We are quite agile, and we drive innovation by keeping the customer in the center. So our agility is driven by how we are able to build new products, whether it's a premium product or whether it's a low-end product. So the entire way we are actually developing, so you need to understand that product managers, when they are in the software side, are very different. Whereas when we are doing marketing and branding, the product managers are more on the category bit of it. So we are more on the business side. So my entrepreneurship comes in wherein I am able to drive projects. Suppose I'm doing a pilot project, I am testing a product which is a physical product. So laptops as an example, I am trying that whether this specification of the laptop will work or not. Whether an ultra AI PC, which you guys would be hearing a lot now, even in mobiles you would have seen. When I was in Samsung, we launched the S24. Now I am in HP, so we have launched the new AI PC, which is your ultra core processors. So that ways we are moving towards where the customer is moving, and that's how the entrepreneurship angle comes in.
That was a great response. And I would like to request the audience, if you have any further questions, you may unmute yourself and speak. Even the speakers may cross question each other. We have no such prohibitions, as in any.
You have
So
such
no question.
esteemed speakers, fellow speakers. I am so looking forward to listen to them.
Sure. Tianshi, I guess you can take over that.
Okay, now I would like to welcome Ms. Imanthi Pete to commence her speech. So, yes, ma'am, please go ahead.
Hi, good evening to all of you. Ayubovan from Sri Lanka, and happy Independence Day to all of you who are celebrating. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here. I am Imanthi Peter, and I come from two different backgrounds. I currently work in hospitality for one of the biggest chains here. And hospitality, as you know, is an intangible product. It's a service that we're promoting. And I also come from an advertising background where I have worked with lots of brands from different industries, helped birth brands, grow brands, rebrandings, and things like that. And I'm happy to share my experiences and what I think about this area that we're discussing today, which is a very interesting topic. Let me just project my presentation to you. Please let me know when you can see it. Hold that. Is my screen visible?
Yeah, it is, Amanti.
Right, lovely. So, marketing and branding, building connections in the business world, right? So, first question that I would ask, I mean, this is going to be a very interactive session. I'd like you all to respond when I do ask questions. I have a lot of video content. So, if there's a lag or if you can't hear the sound, please let me know, right? So that I can play it properly, because that I want it to be as interactive as possible. So first question is, I want to ask you guys, just unmute yourself and just let me know, do you know these brands? Like, does this ring a bell? Can you guys just shoot out some answers across to me, please? Do they look familiar to you?
We cannot see your presentation, Amanti.
Sorry. Is it visible now?
Priyanshi, is it visible on your end?
No, sir, I can only see the Google Meet screen.
Hold it.
Exactly.
Is it visible now?
No, Amanti, still the Google Meets.
Give me a second. Let me just reshare it again.
Sure. No issue.
Okay. Is it visible now?
Yeah, now it's visible.
Right.
Excellent.
Okay. Thank you so much. Sorry about that, guys. So, please feel free to let me know. Do you see these logos on screen, these visuals?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
If you can let me know, I mean, anyone can unmute themselves and tell me, what do you think these brands are? Just shoot across some names. There are no right or wrong answers. Well, there could be wrong answers, but I can rectify it for you.
If you can just swipe to the next slide once, Amanti.
Right.
I can only still see the cover slide with the heading.
Okay, hold it. I'm very sorry. It could be a lag.
No issue. It's very normal.
Okay.
Even my laptop stopped functioning today, so I'm on that.
Is it better on this screen now?
Yeah, it's clearly visible.
Okay,
Awesome.
I think this will be better. I'll be showcasing it like this. So, can you all see these different logos?
Yeah, we can.
Right. Could you just shoot out a few answers to what you think these brands are? Anybody who can just give me a few answers?
Nike, Apple, Instagram, Facebook,
Correct.
Netflix, Starbucks, Coca-Cola.
Very correct. And if you noticed, in this, there are only logos. I have not mentioned the brands anywhere.
Yeah.
Right? So the fact that you were able to answer it correctly means that they have a strong brand identity. Right? So when we say branding, are we just talking about these brands? What about people? Do you think people are brands as well? Could somebody just tell me who these four personalities are?
Cristiano Ronaldo, Shah Rukh Khan,
Mm-hmm.
and
Okay. So very correct. I mean, Shah Rukh Khan, I'm sure all of you all know. Cristiano, of course, very famous personalities. Then you also have Elon Musk, the founder of Tesla, Twitter, and Taylor Swift, who's a celebrity, very famous amongst especially the youngers like myself, right? These people are also brands because they are branded personalities, right? Why am I saying they are strong brands? Let me just play to you this case study, right? Please let me know if the audio is, if it's audible to you.
Yeah, it is.
It's after this advert.
It all starts with a vision, the foresight to see the
This is the case study that I want you all to watch.
People, but not the small guys. And they are the ones who are still hurting. Presenting Shah Rukh Khan.
Is it audible?
Yeah, it is.
More devoted fans than any other movie star in the world.
biggest movie star in the world.
Forbes have called him one of the biggest movie stars in the world. We help small businesses by making Shah Rukh Khan, the world's biggest movie star, their brand ambassador.
इस दिवाली आप भी ना अपने पास वाले फैशन एम्पोरियम से ही कपड़ों की शॉपिंग करना। सिद्धि विनायक इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स से लेटेस्ट स्मार्टफोन खरीदकर धमाकेदार सेल्फी पोस्ट करना।
क्या कर रहे हो? मीठा लाए कि नहीं? We used machine learning to recreate Shah Rukh Khan's face and voice to take the local store names in the ads.
आप भी ना अपने पास वाली चॉइस ऑफ फैशन से ही कपड़ों की शॉपिंग करना। रॉयल फैशन से ही, एनके क्लॉथ्स से ही, पास वाली लक्ष्मी कलेक्शन से ही कपड़ों की शॉपिंग।
Different versions of the same ad with local store names were targeted as per the pin code of the viewer, showing them only the nearby stores. But it is impossible to cover all the stores. So we gave the power to the people to create their own version of Shah Rukh Khan, my ad. Any small business owner could promote their stores through their own social media networks like WhatsApp forwards and other social media pages.
It is Shah Rukh Khan selling your store, man. If you're a small-time retailer or a merchant, what an amazing thing to have.
Cadbury ad is an ad campaign that has gone viral.
A new ad which stars Bollywood superstar Shah Rukh Khan is winning hearts all over social media.
And what we are learning is that over 1 lakh local stores have already created their own ad with Shah Rukh as a brand ambassador.
दुकानों के नाम पूरी सेलिब्रेशंस के दिवाली एड में शामिल हैं।
सपने में भी नहीं सोचा था कि शाहरुख खान मेरे दुकान का ऐड करेगा।
Shah Rukh Khan, my ad.
So that case study was basically how strong of a brand Shah Rukh Khan is, right? And all these small vendors can't afford to get a brand ambassador like Shah Rukh Khan to promote their brand. But Cadbury came on board and used AI, right? And they generated ads and he was promoting each of these small vendors who signed up for this. And in addition to this case study, if you can research further, you'll realize the revenue generated for these small vendors was significant, and their small stores grew, right? The business grew for them because people associated Shah Rukh Khan as a positive brand and a positive ambassador, right? So that is one example. So when you say branding and marketing, there are multiple definitions and terminologies, right? Philip Kotler, as we know, is a master in marketing. So he defines branding as a name, term, sign, symbol, or design, or a combination of multitudes of them, intended to identify the goods or services of one seller or group of sellers and to differentiate them from those of competitors. Right? That's how Philip Kotler identifies branding. And what is marketing? According to Philip Kotler himself, he says it is the science and art of exploring, creating, and delivering value to satisfy the needs of a target market at a profit. Marketing identifies unfulfilled needs and desires. It defines, measures, and quantifies the size of the identified market and the profit potential. It pinpoints which segment the company is capable of serving best, and it designs and promotes the appropriate products and services. So this is like a lot of words, but in the most simplest form, if I were to tell you, okay, what is branding? Branding is who your company, product, or service is, and marketing is how you share the brand with your respective target audience. Right? If I use an example, a day-to-day example, right? Just think of yourselves in a gang of friends, right? And there is this one friend of yours that stands out. It could be because of their sense of fashion, right? It could be the way their stature or their tone of voice or the personality alone and how they carry themselves. That is a person's brand, right? But let's say now this person is looking for a job. So this friend of yours attentively, right, goes for networking events, submits applications, reaches out to prospective employers, updates that person's LinkedIn, and that is how this person, that friend of yours, is marketing him or herself, right? So that is the easiest example in which I can define the two to you. Do they work hand in hand? Yes. But is it branding that comes first or marketing? It's definitely branding, because you need to spend time and effort to build a brand, right? And then you decide how you communicate that brand, personality, tone, everything, to the identified audience. I would use a few brand case studies for you to kind of understand. I'm keeping this very interactive, so please afterwards you can ask questions in the question tab, right? The first brand that I want to speak to you about is Dove, right? All of us have associated this brand because it's a very, very old brand, right? So Dove is what? It's a very famous skincare brand. It's known for skincare products that promise moisture, softness, and overall skin health, right? This is what the product is. It's a very simple product, right? But in terms of Dove's branding, right, there are multiple things that have built that Dove's strong identity, right? They empathize on beauty, self-esteem, and inclusivity. Would you ever think that a bar of soap could present all of that, right? That is what Dove has built over the years. In terms of its logo, right, that you can see on the screen, it's very simple, elegant, right? It uses a dove bird. Dove symbolizes peace and purity. That is why they have introduced that bird there. When you look at the color palettes that they use, right, the colored palettes that you see in the Dove adverts are very soft tones, right? In terms of slogans, while they have changed over the years, this real beauty slogan that Dove carried on, which really changed the brand for them, right, was a very strong slogan that they had. So in terms of this brand that they have and how they market, Dove's marketing focuses on themes of self-esteem, body positivity, and authenticity, right? Their marketing has actually changed over the years. If you can Google, or if you have old magazines at home and you check a Dove ad from the 1990s, right, you will realize how they used picture perfect models, right? Very silky hair to endorse these products. Today, if you Google or you go on YouTube and search about a Dove ad, you see people, very real people like you and I, endorsing these brands. They are the models who carry this brand forward. In 2004, Dove launched this real beauty campaign that redefined lot of traditional beauty standards. They took a big risk, right? This was during a time where people were using picture perfect models for skincare brands. They said no to it, and they start capturing people with normal skin, with normal hair, right? With all shapes and sizes, colors and ethnicities and racial groups. And I am presenting to you that case study. Please let me know if that's audible as well. Is it audible?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Just pay attention to this case study. It's a very powerful case study.
Only 4% of women believe they're beautiful. To inspire the other 96% to feel the same, we conducted a social experiment. We called in an FBI-trained sketch artist. First, he sketched portraits of the women based on their own self-descriptions.
The older I've gotten, the more freckles I've gotten.
I would say I have a pretty big forehead.
Once I get a sketch, I say thank you very much, and then they leave. I don't see them.
Then, he sketched the same women, based on descriptions by strangers who had met the women briefly.
She had nice eyes. They lit up when she spoke.
Cute nose.
She had blue eyes, very nice blue eyes.
Finally, we revealed the two sketches to the women themselves.
This is a sketch that you helped me create, and that's a sketch that somebody described of you.
Yeah, that's... The second one looks more open, friendly, and happy.
Our experiment generated 2 films, 8 individual short films, and an online exhibit of the sketches. The sketches visual became the icon of the campaign, used on print and out of home as thumbnails to encourage social media sharing and illustrate articles on mass media publications. This gave cohesion to all the media touchpoints around the lead film that ran on TV and cinema.
Very pretty girl. This actually is what Beth looked like.
Yeah, it's true.
And then you see how Beth described herself.
And what I was describing.
The sharing and buzz on social media quickly made the headlines of mass media publications all over the world. With just the first 2 weeks, the campaign was the 4th most shared ad of all time and was viewed more than 73 million times on YouTube.
So you can see the impact there, right? Are they speaking about their soap or their shampoo? No. They are speaking about a bigger issue, self-esteem issues that we women have, right? Actually, today when I was working on this as well, my colleague who sits in front of me, she was complaining about a big forehead, right? And later on, I just showed her this video and she told me, oh my gosh, I was complaining about this issue. But I told her that when I look at you, that's not what I see. So it's a perception, right? We always want to look better than what we seem. So that was a very strong insight that they spoke of, right? This is just one example, right? The second example I'm going to show is very current and very relevant to today's age when we speak of the Gen Z audience.
This is not what I look like right now. This filter should be illegal. Here's the real me.
We all know how filters have come into play and it's ruining the self-esteem of a lot of young people.
What's the filter called again?
Bold glamour.
Bold glamour.
Bold glamour.
There's practically no way to tell that I've got a filter on. I can move about.
Unlike traditional beauty filters, every pixel on your face is regenerated.
Beautification filter can cause psychological distress.
And I worry about how this impacts young girls' confidence.
It is time to turn our backs against digital distortion.
Yo no necesito.
C'est vraiment important de s'assurer que your back is
Ansiedade para essa aparência real.
Celebrities took to endorse this as well.
We're not just doing it for our family. We know it's other families. We know it's other kids out here that's watching, that's listening.
The hashtag turn your back is all over.
So what they did through their marketing initiatives was not to stray away from who they stood as a brand, right? They are very true to what they stand as a brand. It's about body positivity, as I spoke to you earlier. And they've stood through that across the time. Looking at the second brand, another very powerful brand, Nike, right? Nike is all about inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. If you have a body, you are an athlete. They are not just talking about the Olympic athletes out there. They're talking about you and me and trying to relate to us, saying that if we are a body, if we are human, we are athletes, right? And how is Nike very different in terms of their branding, their logo alone, the slogan, right? Just do it, has never changed across the years, and it remains a strong slogan. They have one of the strongest brand identities, right? And even the color palettes they use are very bold. Even the music and the sounds that they have used through their communications are very motivational, very inspiring. And that's the kind of stance that Nike stands for, right? If you and I were to go on YouTube and we're watching something and we get a Nike advert, within the first 2 to 3 seconds, we know, okay, this is Nike. In terms of marketing, they revolve around compelling storytelling to emotionally engage, right? Nike ads, if you look at those ads, they hardly ever speak about their shoes or their products or their very rarely. So there's subtle brand engagement there, right? But they're talking about a more empowerment, power, taking charge. And this is what they did for this year's Olympics, which just concluded. This is the campaign that they ran.
Excuse me, Amanti.
Yes.
I would not like to intervene, but we are running out of time. If you could just wrap it up in 2 minutes.
Okay, sure. Okay, sure. I can share the links as
Sure.
well. Right. So basically, the last brand that I'll quickly go on with is Coca Cola. Again, similar strong brand. They're one of the most powerful brands that you get in the world. They get seasonal, they change according to cultural nuances, right? And they did a very share a Coke campaign which went global, which I'll share the link with you as well. But the key takeaway from all of this that I'm presenting to you is a few things, right? One thing is you need to take time to work on the branding and marketing strategy. Spend as much time as possible. You might have a good idea or product in place, but if your branding is right or the marketing is weak, it will never sell. Understand your USPs. That's where you define your distinguish your brand identity. Know your customers, especially Gen Zs, right? Gen Zs are your next biggest segment, and they are the future. So you need to know who these guys are and what they want. Every point in the customer journey matters. Be culturally relevant. Use innovation, right? And personal branding. Even the owner of the company is a brand identity. Work on those things, and it's important. Change is constant. We all know that coming from a post pandemic generation now, that change was the only constant that we could prevail to sustain our brands and our companies that we work for. Be willing to both learn and unlearn. Sometimes you have to unlearn what you know, sometimes you need to learn new things. Data is key. Analyze data, use data, invest in research. It is very important if you're planning to start a new company or a brand. Customer reviews and feedback. And also be futuristic. Think beyond today, think for tomorrow, and you will be able to come up with a stellar strategy for your brand or campaign. This is the last slide that I want to quickly leave with you, which was presented, which stuck with me and something that I go by for the brand that I work for, right? Most brands are in the awareness and known for something stage, right? But ultimately, what you need to do is you need to create a brand where your audience is going to stand by you and advocate for you in your absence. And that is the ultimate goal for any brand marketeer to get to. Thank you.
That was an excellent speech, Amanti. I would like to request you to share your email ID in the chat box so that if any of our audience has queries, they
Sure.
can straight away reach out to you.
Sorry about the
Thank
time.
you.
Yeah.
No issues. That's all. Next, now let's move ahead and welcome Mr. Dev Savadia. And I would like to request Dev ji to commence his speech and share his insights with all of us.
Yeah. Yeah. Hi, I'm Dev. I'm the co-founder of You Thrive, and I've been helping brands and influencers drive, like increase their personal brand value and build their community and drive more sales through their personal brands on via LinkedIn and via different platforms. But yeah, first of all, I would like to thank SK Associates also for this for this very great opportunity to speak and like to speak about the work and how marketers can also learn this craft so that they can build their personal brands also at the same time while like maybe bring on clients and establish the personal brand to attract more opportunities. So yeah, I'll keep this a little quick, but my agenda for today is to tell you how personal brand in today's age is very important, and plus how building a personal brand can be the key to unlocking many opportunities when it comes to marketing, when it comes to building your career, when it comes to like driving more awareness and presence in your current market. So I'll be telling more about that. So today, first, I would like to ask this question to everybody here. You must have known about the brand Boat, the Boat headphones. So what is I would like to ask this, like what is the first thing that comes to your mind when I say Boat headphones? uh, so yeah, I would just like to see if anybody has anything to answer. Yeah, see, yeah, Yeah, Lahiri, yeah, you're absolutely, yeah, you're absolutely right. The first thing also think that Aman Gupta is the one person who comes to mind when we think about boat, because Aman Gupta, he was, if we think about pre Shark Tank India, like the era where Shark Tank India didn't happen, boat of course was doing good. It was really working well. But when Aman Gupta came on Shark Tank India and took it over, um, boat's brand value and like sales directly soared so high and so good, that basically just by Aman Gupta airing on Shark Tank, people were actually able to resonate with the brand boat. It was because of his like how he represented himself, and how he took over Shark Tank India also. But yeah, so you see, like how his personal brand, so it's because of his personal brand that he was able to do this. And there's an interesting fact. So when Shark Tank India aired on TV, Boat India suspended marketing for 3 months. They cut out all marketing costs because they were so confident that Aman Gupta coming on Shark Tank India would be so efficient for the marketing in itself, that they cancelled all the marketing budgets, which is absolutely crazy if I think about it. Uh, so yeah, the point being, personal branding. Let's say, why did Aman Gupta do Shark Tank India? It was because he wanted to, like of course he wanted to invest in brands, but the behind, like another factor which influenced him to do was he knew the power of personal brand. He knew what he could do with his personality, and by talking about brand board and representing brand board in front of such a huge audience, which is like a mass audience. He could drive such an awareness for boat himself. So if you remember, if you see him on the show himself, like if you see him, that he will be wearing a watch on his hand which is very flashy, so that people can see what kind of watch he's wearing, and people will quickly think, like that, yeah, I want to buy this watch, and I want to buy this watch for myself. And actually, boats, when Shark Tank India came, I think, yeah, the sales of boat rose more than double compared to the last year. And it was all, of course, due to Aman's Gupta new personal brand, which he was able to grow through his online presence. And it's not just about Aman Gupta. I believe it's about so many other brands. If you think about KFC, if you see the KFC logo, like you will always think about that old man who is there in the logo. So it is also kind of a personal brand. He has, KFC has given this character to, because people relate to it, and let's say the brand recall value drastically improves because of that. So, and of course, if you think about Tata, Sir Ratan Tata also comes into our minds. That's the first thing which comes into our minds, because we really resonate with what he has done for India, and what he has brought about, like the impact that he has brought about in the last many years. So that is I think the power of personal brand for sure. But when it comes to building a personal brand, there are many key factors, and of course, let's say, of course, if you think about 1990s, you may think, maybe, like for brands there were celebrities, who were just doing those ads for the brands. But now it has changed so much. Now if you see these ads, there are so many influencers roped into different brand commercials because of their brand value that they bring to the table. It's because this whole, after, I guess, after 2010, we have seen this shift coming in, where influencers have been able to build their personal brands from scratch, and also able to attract so many opportunities via personal brand. And I think as marketers, it's very important to build our personal brands also, so that we could bring about, of course, a good change, and of course, make our presence more, how do we say it, but yeah, make our presence more felt in the market, as in, it becomes very easy to reach out people. You grow a network so rapidly. There are so many end benefits of it. But talking about how to build a personal brand from scratch, I would say that LinkedIn is the best platform you could be on to build your personal brand, because LinkedIn provides you the opportunity to connect with like-minded people, to grow your community, to grow your tribe, and to, of course, start conversations via content. So let's say, if you are growing in your field, and if you are interested about a certain topic in marketing, then you should just start posting content. As in, you should first start with optimizing your profile on LinkedIn, which is very important, because when you optimize your profile with the right keywords, add in your right experience, what you have done in the past few years, and add a very good banner which talks about you, then LinkedIn recognizes that, yeah, you are genuinely trying to build out your profile, and suddenly it gives you a good boost also on LinkedIn. As in, when you add in the right keywords, LinkedIn will automatically rank your profile in higher in terms of search visibility. So let's say if I search for a particular keyword, let's say if I search for maybe copywriter, then there's a chance that if someone searches in a particular city or a particular area, your name might come up. So these are a few things, and of course, optimization is the key. And then comes in the content. Like most people ask, like, what should I post, and when should I post it? I don't know anything. What should I post? So you have to think about, when it comes to personal branding, the most important element is storytelling. Storytelling means talking about stories, and like bringing about, maybe talking about what's happening in your life and connecting it with your career. And also, maybe there are so many different aspects to storytelling, I would say. But yeah, storytelling is basically like trying to humanize your brand, and talking about yourself, and presenting your also failures and struggles that you are going through, so that people can resonate with you. People don't feel like, it's just a machine that is sitting behind and posting content. So it really makes a difference. And when it comes to content, I would say, like, maybe you can share your struggles, maybe you can share what you have experienced so far in this career. Maybe you can share maybe, yeah, you can share your marketing journey so far. Maybe you can also share your insights here, so that you can build authority. But yeah, when it comes to building a personal brand, I think there are three elements, I would say, which is authority, credibility, and also social proof. So authority means you can build your authority via, like talking about your insights and talking about your opinion on a certain topic. And credibility comes in where people actually vouch for you. Like, you have a proven track record of people vouching for you, and you have gone on to show that how incredible your insights are in this market, so that people, when you have credibility, you win people's trust. So it becomes very easy to build your personal brand out there. And when it comes to social proof, it means that you have to show, you have to as the saying goes, like, show don't tell. So you have to show what you're doing, you have to show your authority, you have to show what you have been up to lately. So these are the three key pillars, I would say, when it comes to building out your personal brand. And adding maybe about how personal brands can help brands also, and and brands and influencers also. I would say that for brands, let's say I'm a startup and I want to maybe secure a funding. So I want to get noticed by investors, I want to get noticed by the top investors, and I want to secure maybe my first round of funding. So of course, the direct approach, like the first thing I would maybe think about is, I'll start pitching to companies, I'll start pitching to these VCs. But there's another way around this. It's called the third door. Third door means it's a door through which basically you, instead of you, like maybe knocking that door of opportunity, you create that door of opportunity. Which means that you build your personal brand so good that you basically, like, let's say if you want to secure a funding for your brand, so you build your personal brand so good that you add in the right people, you send them connection requests regarding what you do, regarding what you have done in the past, and you post content accordingly, so that people which you think, like, are the right fit. And people, like, let's say it's called ICP, which is ideal client persona. You add them in your profiles, so that they ultimately see your content, and they are the ones who are reaching out to you to help you get the funding. So that is how you can also, as a brand, and maybe just this is one part, which is securing a funding. But there are different aspects to it, which means you can also, when it comes to personal brand, if you have a very good startup, it also helps you, like, create more awareness for your brand, and people resonate more with humans. Of course, there are brands which people resonate when it comes to lifestyle, but ultimately people resonate more with humans, and who are the humans behind these big brands. So when there are personal brands built, it eases the process. It makes basically it helps ensure that it's a very end-to-end brand which actually has compassion and empathy for the customers. So it turns the entire narrative around. So yeah, I think that is what I have to say about personal branding. And yeah, I think if you have any questions, you can go ahead in the chat and drop it. I'll be happy to answer. Thank you so much, Shravan and Priyanshi.
Sure. Priyanshi.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Dev, for the amazing speech.
Thank you.
Now, please share your email address in the chat box as well, sir.
Yeah.
And if any of our audience has any questions or seeks any further information, so please don't hesitate to reach out to him. Now, next, let's welcome our final speaker for the day, who is Ms. Trishna Tamang, and I would now request her to commence her speech.
Thank you so much, everyone. It's really nice to see you all here today. And namaste from my side and happy Independence Day to all of you guys there. So it has been a wonderful session. And I think the things I'm about to present today might already have been covered by Miss Pete, I guess. So yeah, I think that was really interesting, like how alike the minds of people who are in brand and marketing are, how much we love to engage with customers, how much we love to take reviews from our audience and all of these things. So yeah, I'll share my screen and I hope you guys will let me know if you guys can see it or not. Is it visible, guys? Can you see that?
Yeah, it is visible, Krishna.
Okay, so let's get started. First of all, as I said to you guys, it's always okay. Let's go. So what comes in your mind when you see these things? So this is the first thing I'm going to do as well as a marketeer. So which brand is it? You guys can unmute and please tell me which brand is it. Guys, yes, please. You can see the photo.
I guess girls can guess better.
Sorry?
I guess girls can guess better. It's
yeah, girls, please.
Ladies' accessory. Yeah.
It's a Birkin? Yes, ma'am, it is. So let's go. And this brand? Can you guys guess it? It's a very popular. When it comes to wedding and all of these things?
Sabyasachi, is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go. And the final one, all the tech savvies, I think we know these colors.
Microsoft.
Yes, let's go. So I think this is how we come to a common ground. Like, I think this is actually what shows like how differently the products are targeted. So when it comes to Birkin, when it comes to Sabyasachi, you guys can see that girls are more eager towards answering this question because they know about these brands. That's how the brand has targeted themselves, right? And when it comes to techie side, a bit manly side, then you see that you guys can guess Microsoft quite easily. So let's move forward. So we are starting the same way. What is branding? So what comes in you guys' mind when you think like, I'm doing branding or I'm about to create a brand? So what do you think a brand is? Can you guys just give me a yes or a pass? Just a little word from you guys. Let's hear it. Anybody? Our speakers? Anybody? So let's go. So branding is more than just a logo or a tagline. It's the entire experience your customers have with your business. So when we think about a brand, we think about a logo or like how you place it or like everything that comes with it, right? But for actually a branding is how your customers experience your brand, how they perceive your brand, and what is marketing on the other hand. And marketing is a strategy that is used to promote your brand and to connect with their audience. It's a medium, I would say. Marketing is a medium to create your brand. So moving forward, integrating marketing and branding. So how do you integrate a marketing and branding? So first of all, when you come to Starbucks, so there's a beautiful example of how Starbucks has done it. So if you guys can see, like when it comes to their tumblers, when it comes to their glasses, when it comes to their little cards, or everything that they do. So that basically reflects the brand. So let it be when it comes to color. So you guys can see the color tone green that they use, the patterns that they use, the taste and flavors that they come up with. So it's all like a uniform aspect. So you guys can see, when you see a logo or a bag or anything, you guys can resonate with it quite easily. And moving forward to it, I have one more example. So when you see this collage of pictures, what do you think this brand represents? Can anybody give a guess? Or like, what does it sell basically? A wild guess when you see this picture.
Dresses.
Yes, exactly. So this is a brand called Sanyas, right? So this is, I am the founder of this brand. So we sell timeless classics. Like, we are going into old money fashion, into corporate worlds, and into dressing up like that. So if I had kept something like something different, like when it comes to streetwear or like a funky background or anything, that wouldn't go with what my brand is. And so that is where integrating marketing and branding comes in. So if you look at the social media of Sanyas, you can see how coordinated the colors are, how I come up with models and their poses and what colors to post and all of these things. So if you see Sanyas's Instagram, Facebook, and all of these things, there has to be a consistent message that Sanyas is not a fashion brand that is like into fast fashion, or that is into what do I would say, streetwears and all of these things. It's not into hoodies, it's not into t-shirts, it's not into any of these things. It's into something that is more classic, that has more weight to it, or that is more focused toward corporate clients. And similarly, you guys can see Airbnb, how they have separated their message, or how they have like gave a uniform message to different people. Like for the Tokyo, they have a different logo. For Sao Paulo, they have a different logo. So this is how you guys can basically separate. And also, what is essential strategies for success? So the first one is you have to build a very strong brand identity. So you guys need to clearly define what your brand stands for. And also, you guys need to be very sure that your brand actually depicts what it actually stands for. So if my brand is something that focuses on swimming pool, that focuses on fitness and all of these things, then I cannot be posting something that goes out of the boundary. So I cannot be posting something related to drinks, or something related to bar or a restaurant or any of those. And is consistent all the time. So next thing you need to do is you need to know your audience. So if you're so suppose, as I said, for a good example was Sanyas, my brand itself. So I cannot target my target audience cannot be like teenagers. My target audience cannot be people who are not into this formal wears or like classic wears or corporate wears. So I need, what do you say, who are into this kind of thing, like who are business owners and all of these things, who love to dress in a professional way. And in the same way, you have to maintain consistency all across. Branding add value to your, how do you do that, how do you make people believe that okay, you can also add value, or a small marketing post or a small thing also can add value to your brand. So what you guys can do is, rather than just taking or just showing your products and all of these things, what you can do is you can include some tips and tricks. So suppose in Buzzroy Sports Center, what I've done is you guys can see 5 mental health benefits of working out, 5 tips that you need in the gym. Similarly, 5 essentials that you'll be needing for swimming pool and all of those things. So rather than keeping it to yourself, branding and marketing is more also about sharing with people, how people feel, or letting people know, giving the people information. And that is how I think branding and marketing has actually been working, or should actually be working in the very present situation. So one more thing that you guys can do is, when it comes to building connections, so marketing and branding is not just about building connections with your customers, but also you guys need to have a very good links with like professionals, like industry professionals or anybody. So one of the major way that you guys can connect to people are conference like this, like industry events and seminars and webinars and all of these things that has been going on, which might be, some might be free, some might you have to pay and all of these things. But if you guys go there, if you guys are present there, you guys get to know a lot of people in the industry. And I think getting platforms like the one that SK Associates has provided, it helps a lot for youths and entrepreneurs and all of these things to actually see what real life examples of success or what real life examples of marketing and branding look like. And the next one is you can also, of course, leverage the digital platforms. So we have LinkedIn nowadays. So we all have, I think, come together through LinkedIn. I personally have connected with Ask Associates from LinkedIn. So in this way, like we connect with people from different backgrounds, we connect with people from different expertise and all of these things. So when you keep connections like this, it's gonna add up to your value in a very long term. For now, it might just be a company. For now, it might just be a person who works at a certain company. But when it comes in the long run and when people actually start noticing you, then you can see the real impact of how important it is to leverage a digital platform. So moving forward, this is what I would like to say. The more you give, the more likely you are to receive in return, creating a cycle of mutual benefit. So the more you give to others, so building connections, so our title is also building connections, right? In marketing and branding, how do you build a connection? So the more you give, I think the more you receive in return. So suppose if somebody asks you about like some expertise, like they need help in something, then the more you give to them, so there might be another aspect they might be good at, or another thing that they might be good at, and that is how we mutually benefit. So I think for all of you who are an aspiring entrepreneur, who are young people, and all of these things, who are hustling and all of these things, don't think what you can take from others, like what can the other person offer for you, but make sure that what you are able to give them in return, what are the things that you guys can actually do together. So they say that when you are in a position, it's not about competing, but it's about being shareholders or the stakeholders or like partners. So there shouldn't always be that competition or competitors kind of mindset. So if you guys can do it, then do it collaboratively. So there is a lot of difference between competitor and a collaboration. So if you are a young entrepreneur, I would like to give you a very good suggestion that start from basics, start from scratch. So one thing that you have to do is be consistent. Let it be in terms of building your connections, let it be in terms of marketing, branding, let it be in terms of anything that you're doing, you have to be consistent. So if you're not consistent, even I have seen this because I have started 2 new ventures. One is Sannyas and another one that I have is a bar that I've opened, and you can actually see results. So you know that we say that marketing is all about throwing ads, marketing is about all about doing this and that, but actually marketing is more than just like throwing ads and creating posts and creating fancy designs and all of those things. The main thing is what can customers take from you. So if somebody is buying a cloth from Sannyas, or somebody is getting some benefit out of your company, then how do you assist them? So suppose if you're a tech company, you're giving tech services, then what you could do is you could post something related. Suppose a trick to or a hack to like refresh your computer, or like any of these things, like how do you stay safe digitally. So you guys could create small posts like that and post it eventually. So suppose from Sanya's side, what I have done is, suppose I have this neck scarf or a caravat, just a simple example, I show them how to tie this, right? So, and that gets views for me. So though I might not be able to sell my product, I strike in people's mind as a brand that sells all of this kind of thing, and you can also learn from it. So always make sure that it's a cycle. The more you give, the more you receive. So yes, guys, that's it from my side. Thank you so much. And this is me. You guys can scan this QR code and get connected with me in LinkedIn. Yes. So is there any question?
I would like to request the audience to unmute yourself and put forth any questions that you have to Trishna. No questions? Anyone? Okay. Yeah, Yash has a question, Krishna.
Let's see.
Ma'am, like I just want to ask if I have to do branding of a clothing brand.
Yes.
Who is wearing, like currently dealing in menswear, kurtas, shirts, and all. So how, and they are not so popular and on a initial stage. So how I can do branding of their brand, like.
First thing you can do is identify your customers, like who are you trying to target. So if you target everyone and everything, that's not going to work. So first you guys need to do is like define a target audience, right? So if you're trying to target people who are older and all of these things, you'll have to find colors and patterns and all of this that suits their style. But if you're trying to target youngsters, then you'll have to have a different kind of target audience or a different kind of product line that you have. So you need to separate. So these are the colors that are going to go with the younger audience, and these are the colors and the patterns that are going to go with the older audience, right? And the second thing you'll have to, once you have identified it, as I told you guys, just don't post the pictures of the models, like modeling, like them wearing the attire. Also show them how to style them. That could be one of the easier ways. You can create reels nowadays, you know that, right? So you can simply create reels like how to style this kurta, or how you could gift it to someone or anything. Like give them little things that they are going to love it. So people are gonna save your reel. They're going to save your reel. They're going to share it to someone. So if there is someone, then you're like, a wife can share to the husband, like, Dekho, you can do this too, right? So there is that part. So, and the other thing that you guys can do, so the first one is you clarify like which audience you want to target, what kind of audience you want to target. The second is you give the customers information and all of these things. Make sure, like, be sure of one thing, that as soon as you post, you're not going to get orders. As soon as you post something in your social media, just because you posted like 5 or 6 posts a day, that is not going to give you customers, right? So what you have to do is you have to maintain that consistency, and you need to show that your brand has a value. You are able to add a value. You are able to give something, and that is how you're going to receive something. So that is one thing that we, as a marketer, as a branding person, because there are so many, like, you're a small clothing brand, there's thousands of competitors that are way better, that are way better reach, that are creating way more like contents and all of these things. But you need to be the one who needs to get noticed slowly. So throw ads, like, don't throw ads of $10 or $15 a day, and like, throw $1. You know you can target customers in $1 a day, right? So you may get 10 or 15 10,000 to 1,500 views, but you get it, right? So do start from little. Don't go overboard. Like, don't set audience or targeting for like 1,500, like $15 a day, or like $20. You don't have to do that. Start from $1 and see the responses, what people think, what people like, and you guys can know from that only. So don't spend like huge chunks of money just because you're starting something. Don't spend like huge. So if you're starting a clothing, just don't.
Yeah, Krishna, I believe your audio got stuck. Yeah, am I audible, Krishna? Am I audible, Priyanshu?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yeah, Krishna, your video and audio got stuck. You need to just check in once. Sure, then yes, I hope that information suffices your answer.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Sure.
So sorry, I
Krish-
lost my connection just now.
Sure.
Yeah. So was there any more questions that you guys were asking?
None as of such, Krishna. We would like to request you to share your email ID in the chat box, however, so that if anyone has a question, they can straight away connect.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. It was an awesome speech. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, as we come to the close of this remarkable conference session, we would like to express a heartfelt appreciation to each and every one of you. The knowledge shared, the insights gained, and the connections made in this session have all contributed to the success of this event. We are truly grateful for all of your participation. As we wrap up this conference, we kindly request all attendees and speakers to take a moment and provide your valuable feedback and reviews on our Google Maps location. Your input and thoughts are highly appreciated as they will help us improve future events and continue delivering high quality conferences. Thank you all for your participation and for being part of this journey. We look forward to sharing more innovative ideas, strategies, and breakthroughs, and hope to see you all at Conference 3.0